gonna get straight into this video today. I absolutely love D&D, which stands for Dungeons and Dragons if you didn't know. But I never used to always love D&D, and I absolutely struggled for many years to get into D&D. At one point, I actually hated D&D, just simply because I was so overwhelmed and couldn't get the hang of it. I was looking up videos online and they're always for like beginner's guides, and like I feel like I was at the stage where I wasn't a beginner, I was below a beginner. I had no experience whatsoever and I was so overwhelmed by character sheets and dice, and I had just like, what the hell is going on? I also couldn't roleplay to save my life because I felt so uncomfortable. Like, how could you act like someone else? Like, I couldn't do it, but I always wanted to get into it. And obviously, like I said, all the videos that are online are beginner's level, and I wanted to do a video which is simply no experience, story time, how I did it, no big words, no like base level. And a lot of the videos were from people that dumbing it down, but turns out I'm already dumb, so I can dumb down the dumbness that I already am. So for the dumb ones, you know, that made so much sense, I promise. And in the spirit, if Bakey can get hold of D&D, anybody can get hold of D&D. Alright, so my first time getting to D&D, I actually played it with 4 other people, and I sat around the table and I looked around feeling absolutely lost. I played with a pre-done character and all these people were doing role plays around me, rolling dice, and there was character sheets and numbers. I'm terrified of maths. I had no idea what was going on. I left that session and I was like, I never want to play D&D again. Everyone around me was also always speaking about D&D, so I just felt a bit left out. Like, I want to get into this, but I can't, you know? So a few months went by after that session and I was like, do you know what? I still want to get into D&D. I want to do this. So I ended up going on YouTube and looking up videos, and none of the videos really helped me that much. They told me how to make character sheets and stuff, but again, it wasn't going into my brain. So I thought, do you know what? I'm going to take this to basics, and I simply made my own character. This is one of my biggest advice to you guys. Make your own character. Love your character. Be at one with your character. You get so much more invested. Don't let anyone just give you a character sheet and learn it from there. Make your own character. I started off, I didn't even think about numbers or what means what. I simply just thought of a background and a backstory, and I sort of fell in love with the character. I'm a nerd. I love stories, I love characters, and I just did it. When you're making a character, it all comes together. There is many classes in D&D. To simplify this, you know, we'll just go with wizards, a fighter, which is a fighter, and barbarian. You may not have heard of a barbarian before. I remember before I got into D&D, all I knew was wizards because Harry Potter and a touch of Lord of the Rings. So when everyone was bringing up a bard, I had no idea what a bard was, and I'm still learning to this day what each one does. So when making your character, there is a few classes to choose from, but don't feel overwhelmed. I actually only know how to play 2 of these. There's a barbarian, which is a tough guy, a bard, which is kind of like leader. We've got cleric, druid, fighter, monk, paladin, ranger, rogue, sorcerer, warlock, wizard, and obviously there is some others as well. And I know that sounds really overwhelming. I only know 2 of those that are on there. I've only ever played 2 of them. I know like the basic characteristics that come from the other ones, but I don't know how to play them. Just if someone in my party is playing one, I sort of get it from how they're acting, but you don't need to know them all. The best way of learning what each class does is doing, like, for example, type in rogue and then go into Google and type in famous rogues in movies, and for example Jack Sparrow would come up because he's a bit of a rogue, and then you sort of know how to base your character on and how to play your character. So for example, again, a barbarian in movies will be Drax from Guardians of the Galaxy. So you sort of know where I'm going. Like, that's how you sort of know what your character's doing and what these classes do. After you've picked what class you want to play, you also have what race you want to play, but I won't get into that because it's important but not important, and I don't want to overwhelm you in this video. And yeah, that's like when you go elves, gnomes and stuff like that. So your class is how you play your character, and your race is like the abilities that you have for being born as that race. That's the 2 together, and that's your character. So the character I would recommend for your first D&D session, and the one that I picked and created, was a barbarian. A barbarian is the guy who runs into the fight first, who's just henching a bit dumb and like, hey, let's go and let's deal some damage. And for me, that was brilliant because when I was role playing, I just had to act dumb. And I also made mine a gnome barbarian, and I absolutely love gnomes, so I absolutely love my character so much. For all the D&D people out there, his name's Gorg. He's a gnome barbarian and he's just dumb, and I love him so much. He's always wearing a green little hat. Like, I get so into my characters. So yeah, I would pick a barbarian. It's easy, there's no spells involved. I still to this day have never played a character that has spells because it's too overwhelming for me. I will one day do it. The The only two characters I've ever played is a barbarian and a rogue. You could also play a rogue for your first character. They are pretty simple. It's kind of sneaky, sort of pickpocket. You're just very quick in, sneak round, you know, it's very simple. No spells as well. Well, the one I play has no spells. So either a barbarian, a rogue, a fighter is also easy to play, is legit just a fighter. So how do you play D&D? Now for anyone who is an experienced D&D player, you might want to cover your ears here because I'm really going to dumb this down and it might like annoy a few of you how I'm going to explain this, but it's the way it helped me. If I'm trying to explain D&D to someone who's never played it before, it's simply roll a dice and that equals something. You want to do something, roll a dice. That is how I got my head around it. You want to climb that tree over there, roll your dice. Oh, you rolled a low number, you fall off the tree and hurt your face. Oh, you rolled a high number, you may climb the tree. That is the simplest way and the easiest way, and it's kind of just a learn as you play experience. If you've got that basics, that is what you need. Now for character sheets, these are like top trumps, like you're better at some things than you are others. For example, you want to climb that tree but you suck at athletics, so you might want to get someone else in your party who's good at athletics to roll because their chances of getting a higher number is higher. There could be something like persuasion. Your character will be better at persuading, so you want that person to go and persuade someone. You need to kick down that door, you need a strength check. Oh, I am my known barbarian who's hench, who's got really good strength. Let me be the one who rolls and kicks the door down. It is simple as that. Now dice, they look overwhelming in loads of different sizes and shapes and I'm like, what the hell? But trust me, it's easy. The sheet tells you all. Roll a d20, roll the one that has 20 sides on. You'll do this for majority of the checks. This is your friend. I'm not going to use any words for what you roll it for because I don't want to overwhelm you and stuff, but you roll this for the majority of things, and you probably watch this video thinking I have no knowledge, but I do. I'm just leaving out the big words and stuff. And this is a d12, which has 12 sides on and 12 numbers. When I'm using my great axe, which is my best weapon, I am rolling a 12-sided dice because the chances of getting a higher number and doing more damage. For example, and this is just an example, if I wanted to hit someone over the head, not with my axe, but with a twig, for example, I may roll a 6-sided dice because the less chance of getting a higher number and doing less damage. Does that make sense? So the dice just corresponds to what you're doing and what you're using. Either the DM will ask you to roll a specific dice or your character sheet will tell you what dice to roll. You don't have to decide which dice you roll. Now I don't want to get too much more into it, and I know there's a lot more to D&D than that, but that is the simplest way and the knowledge that I needed to then go into my first game. I had my character sheet in front of me. I thought if I want to do something, the DM is going to ask me to roll. The DM is the person who looks over the experience and is playing it, and you are not against the DM is with you. They are having as much fun as you are. It's their story and you're in it, and they will be happy if you want to do random things. Like, that is the enjoyment of D&D. You can do whatever you want. So your DM will tell a story, put you in the scenario, and you are your character. And when you want to do stuff, you roll your dice. Simple as that. Hopefully I made that as simple as possible. I really do. So you got your character sheet and you know a little bit about D&D. I then asked my friend who is a DM and experienced D&D player, and I said, yo, can we do a one-on-one session and you just talk me through a fight? This was the best decision ever because we legit did a little bit of role play and then he took me into a fight and I could ask as many questions as I could, and it wasn't really like, you know, getting involved. It wasn't like a deep role-playing experience. It was legit like, wait, so I throw this dice? Like, I could ask dumb questions because it was a one-on experience. So if you have a friend who is into D&D, just ask them, be like, I want to get into D&D, can you just do a one-on-one session with me? I've got a character sheet here. They'll really appreciate it if you just have a character sheet. And they don't even have to do a storyline for you. They can legit just say, oh, there is a goblin over there. Let's talk you through how you're gonna hit it. You're also probably thinking, how is this done online? To be fair, you don't need anything. You can have your character sheet and it's all through Mind, and your DM says you're about 30 feet away, and you can do it all through that. And there's many websites out there as well that you can do it and actually move your character around if they have a sheet once you go into battle. But I don't want to confuse or overwhelm you guys too much, so I don't want to get into that. But if you want more D&D videos, give it a big thumbs up and go in the comments down below. And if you want a dumb person to explain it to you, I will do that truly. You know, you won't have an expert person explaining it, it'll be Bakey explaining it to you. Anyway, back to the video. So after I did that one-on-one session with the DM, I said, okay, I'm gonna go and get 3 of my friends who have never played D&D before. So there was 4 of us who've never played D&D before with our characters, and a DM who's experienced and knows what's going on. All 4 of us went in there with no experience, no idea what to do, and I felt so much more comfortable. Like, back to that experience when I played, when it was just me with no experience and 4 people that had so much experience that I was overwhelmed. This time round, I was fine. I was getting into the character and stuff because there was 3 other people who also felt nervous with me, and a DM who was so understanding and taught us all through it. So I was lucky on that side of things. Also, one-shots, they're fun. It's not a campaign. If you guys know what a campaign is where it's like through, let's just say episode 1, episode 2, like it's a continuation, whereas a one-shot is just one session and it's over and done with, your character goes. I also had cheat sheets made for me as well. So my barbarian, I simplified it and had a little sheet, as you can see here. My rogue, I had a little sheet like this, and this helps me so much. Cheat sheets are the best thing ever. I don't know, actually, now I'm sat here, I don't know if you could Google a cheat sheet for a character and it just happens, but I made it, and I, like, well, my friend actually made the rogue one, but I made the barbarian one and made it make sense to me. And then that was kind of it. I kind of learned as I played, you know, like, I still have no idea about most things. I'm still so nervous to actually DM my own session. I only really know what a barbarian and a rogue does because those are the only 2 characters I've played, and I still have to ask the DM many questions, which probably drives him insane. But I absolutely adore D&D, and it's like a new lovely hobby of mine, and it gets me completely away from this world into another world. And I was never confident with role playing, and I love it. I love being my character. It's a 5-hour session and the time has just flew past and I didn't even know. Like, it's so good and I couldn't recommend it more. But yeah, if you guys have got any questions, please put them in the comments down below and I will bakeyfy my answers and keep it simple. No question is a dumb question. It's me, okay? If you want more D&D videos from me, also leave them in the comments down below. I could do dice box tours, I could do some experiences as well. I could do how do I cope with ADHD in D&D. I could do tips and tricks on that, or anything. But yeah, I hope that was good for you. I tried to make it short as possible. I'm sorry if it was a bit longer than normal. I tried to do this in like a story time sort of way, and keeping it simple. Any D&D players out there who are annoyed with this video and I haven't explained it right, I am sorry, but this is legit worked for me, so, you know. Give it a big thumbs up, hit that subscribe button for more videos from me, and I will see you guys very, very soon. Bye!